Hi guys, welcome back. So it's over the Christmas break at the minute, and this kind of time gives us the opportunity to reflect on the year which we have had and the year that's about to hit us. So I'm going to talk you through an exciting development that's happening here at YumCars. So this will happen hopefully in January, and this will continue rolling forward and will continue to happen as an addition to YumCars every month. So what you see here is a ton of parcels which I've ordered. Now I'm going to unbox this. Now this is not an unboxing video, and I'm not going to be talking about what I think of this. I've bought this to use, and I'm going to talk you through exactly what is happening, why it's happening, and while I talk to you guys, I might as well unpack the parcels. Now I've ordered a lot from Amazon in the recent couple of weeks, and I'm just unpacking just to have a look, and this will probably follow up with a few more videos with how to use it and stuff like that. So let's get cracking. So I'm going to get my trusty knife, which has opened more parcels than anybody else. But basically what's happening at YumCars, I've been toying with this decision for a long time now, and for various reasons I've had to put it off for months and months, or years now, because obviously the business is kind of moving so quick, and you just haven't had the time. Now that is a bad excuse really, if I'm honest, because you haven't got time, go make some time. So we are going to change the way the business operates within 2021 to allow for what I'm about to talk about, and for YouTube as a general to actually really thrive and really push that onto some serious levels. You know, 10K subscribers, 50, 100K. 100K is the goal for us, and who knows how far we can get with it. So we have decided to set up a podcast. So we're going to do a podcast, and we're not going to do what most of the other people do and jump on Zoom calls with, you know, really bad image quality and really bad sound quality and just pretend to do a podcast, because who the hell's going to want to watch that? Probably not a lot of people. So we've gone all out. So again, I'm shooting this already on the camera that's going to be used for the podcast. We've been doing a lot of research now in terms of the best static cameras and the best lens. We have it on the camera that you're viewing me from. Again, there are some kind of difficulties with our current camera setup where it's got no image or internal inbuilt stabilization, no image stabilizers. Now the lens especially has definitely not got an image stabilization system. So it's a prime lens from Sigma. So if you want to just Google, have a look, it's a hell of a lens, and the autofocus is really, really good. Now the setup and the mic systems are amazing, great for static shoots. Now we will be buying another camera for vlogging. Again, that's another expense which we have to bear. But as I said, we're going to do a podcast, a real podcast, top class equipment. And over the past 6 months, I've been researching, I've been looking at the big YouTubers. So you've got like the Joe Rogans and stuff like that. And I was just looking, what have you got? Because at the end of the day, these people are the kings. You know, some people got 8 million, 9 million subscribers, and what they use must be good. So we've nailed the list. We've seen a lot of YouTube channels using this setup, and I think on average, the smallest kind of average of this is anybody who's got a podcasting YouTube channel or does podcasts on their just generic YouTube channel, they use this equipment. So as you can imagine, it's very expensive, but you're about to get hit with some ultimate fire. So open the first box, and I've got some XLR cables, which again is nothing major. XLR cable is an XLR cable, but I went for a recommendation for what they did, because I'm just thinking, I don't know much about cabling, so whatever they use, I've just bought. Now again, not much clue about this. This comes straight from the States, so it's a cloud activator, mic activator. So it's a cloud lifter. Now I will explain this a bit more in detail, but once we plug in our special mic, the way the mic's designed you to boost the power, whatever that means, but this is apparently the king daddy of them all. So again, that was added to the shopping list. And then another one is this, which is, anyone who does tech, you'll probably know exactly what this is, but it's a Zoom H6. So basically it's a recorder. This is where the XLR cables will come in. Obviously XLR's going in and out of this. And basically this is just so we can monitor the sound, really hone in the microphone system to where we can drop the bass or the trebles or increase and decrease the powers, which I've seen a lot of reviews about the mic that I'm about to show you, whichever one it is, I'm not sure. And apparently this is a necessity, can't speak English, a necessity for the setup that we're trying to achieve. And again, Jesus, that's heavy. Wow. Honestly, that is quite a heavy mic. Again, this is a microphone stand. Don't know if you could see this, but that's how potentially it looks. Again, we've gone for quite a minimalistic look, keeping everything, you know, tying in with the surroundings that we're in, just classy, sleek, nothing over the top. What is interesting, because the microphone that I ordered, I was going to order it from Amazon, but I decided to go directly to the manufacturer on this one, and I only got one manufacturer's box, which seemed a little bit too big to hold the microphone, but I may be surprised. So the podcasting's coming. We've had actually quite a few people request longer format videos, as if my videos aren't long enough. But they want it longer. Now, I may have special guests appearing in the show. Now, the bigger the channel becomes, the bigger the guests. But I'm not doing this for the guest. I'm doing it for myself. I'm doing it for Kelly. Now, a lot of people, and I mean a vast majority of people who talk to us either privately or on YouTube comments or Facebook comments, but mainly privately, they've requested Kelly to be on the podcast. Well, not the podcast, on videos. Now, obviously Kelly is like the invisible force in this business. Nobody sees her, but she runs the business. So I've talked to Kelly. She is coming on, and it's going to be interesting. So we'll probably, I don't know, I don't want to put words into my mouth which I can't kind of honor, but maybe we'll talk about our history, you know, how we met, like the previous life that we were in, and just talk about the industry in general. Again, the usual tips and tricks, but try and go deeper into the industry, which not many people talk about. So she'll be on there. We're going to have a few of our kind of chosen guests that will come on. I'm expecting probably, as the podcast gets more traction, again, probably the first 20 podcasts, 50 podcasts I do, I might get one person watching it, and I realize this. But to get to the 51st podcast, you need to do 1, 2, 3, all the way up to 50. So I realize the mentality that I have, and it needs to be done. I will never get to podcast 100 without number 1. So I will do it. This is for the Hoover, so yeah, this is not got to do anything with it. Now, again, Sennheiser. I've heard of this brand. Apparently they are amazing. So I was going to go for like the usual Dr. Dre Beats or something like that. But again, all my people that I've done research from and watched, but the notorious, obviously, Joe Rogan and the Joe Rogan Experience that he hosts, he uses a specific headset. So the Sennheiser Hd280 Pro, massive earphones. It has to be cabled. Now, I do not understand why people on podcasts wear kind of headphones, because obviously I can hear myself speak, but it probably has to do something with the whole Zoom thing and the cloud lifter where you can listen to yourself back as you're talking live. So this, again, as I said, it's not a wireless set. This is a plugged set on purpose, probably to go hand in hand into this. So we will see. But anyway, as I was saying, guests. We may have our guests, chosen guests, but also, as I was also saying, if the podcast really starts to take some traction, you might have people requesting to go on podcasts. So you never know, it'd be cool, and I would love to kind of find about, you know, you or whoever comes on the podcast. And it's always interesting. Obviously, we're not going to have a hairdresser come on a car care podcast, so it's going to be relative, like I always keep saying. But who knows who might appear out the woodwork to come onto here. So this is another thing. This is for, well, in fact, it is kind of for the podcast. We've got a certain mat to go with our new iMac Pro. So yeah, it's to kind of stop the mouses sliding on the desks that we have and where we do all the editing. So again, it kind of is for the podcast and it isn't. Now this came loose. I bought this as a precautionary measure, and this basically, so the brand of mic that I use is Rode, as everybody knows, and Rode do a specific extension, so it's still got a 3.5mm input, because that's what most cameras take, and this is a very long lead, and this is in case all of this fails, or I don't know how to use it. This is a backup where I can literally stretch a massive cable from the back of the camera into, I think, the microphone. So this is just, again, this was a cheap part, £9 for a cable. It is what it is, but I bought it as a precaution. So again, I can't wait to show you the mic, guys. I'm actually pleased with this one. It's an absolute gem, I think, we found. So regards podcasting, I've never done it. I don't know what this is, and this isn't for the podcast. This is another part for the Hoover. People be thinking, how many Hoovers do you have? We go through a lot of Henry bags, so that's Henry bags. So I've never done podcasting. This, again, is for the Hoover, but just let me double check. This is an extension hose, which we broke ours. Yeah, it's a huge extension hose. So I'm guessing the last but not least is going to be the crown jewel, is the microphone. So never done podcasting. I'm quite comfortable to speak long-term on camera, so be interesting how it turns out. But the reason why I'm really doing podcast is I really want to open up about the industry, talk about, if we do it, say, on a weekly basis or a monthly basis. I'm sure a lot of you guys, because I'm interested in this, if I've got a brand which I'm hugely passionate with, and I speak to them daily or buy from them, whatever, weekly, I want to know what they're doing, and interested in who owns it and what they do. So if I'm interested in stuff like this, I'm sure most of you guys will be, and especially when the channel starts to grow, it will get bigger and better. So yes, this is the microphone. So the crown jewel. Now, as you would have guessed by this video and the way I'm talking, now I know we've got a certain viewer watching this video who is into his technology. So his name's Callum. So Callum, if you're watching this, please don't laugh. And he's a regular customer. He's actually a member as well. So him and his brother are members of the membership platform. And he came in here actually a couple of weeks ago. And he actually said how he was thinking of me and how was I setting up the podcast studio, because he's currently doing it in work, or at the time, a couple of weeks ago. So obviously, as you can tell by this video, I don't know anything about this. This really took me a lot of time and effort to research and make probably a book of notes like this. And I just, I must have watched about 300-400 videos on each product, on each style of product. So I've watched every review, and this is, my culmination of my research and the purchases. Now, when I looked at what is the best podcast mic, obviously that is the usual search on YouTube and Google. And but podcasting equipment, podcasting setups, it started to appear to me that on a regular basis, the best of the best are using a certain brand mic. And the people who have expensive podcasting studios, or people who aren't technically podcasters but have a lot of money to spend on their studios, all had the same mic. So I thought, I need to start, narrowing the search into this specific mic. Now, what I found out with this mic, not only people like, again, Joe Rogan and all these people use, are huge podcasters, is the fact that apparently Michael Jackson recorded his, I think it's Billie Jean song, with this microphone. Now, it's used in, rap studios, Obviously the #1 hit studios where they do all the records, podcasting clearly, and many other industries where a microphone is required on a very premium level. So I thought I need to do this. So the brand is called Shure, so S-H-U-R-E, Shure. And the mic itself is the SM7B. So they've got a baby version of this, which is about half the price, half the performance, obviously. But again, when it comes to my personal things, price is not an issue if I can justify it with the performance. So the Shure SM7B, I have actually got 2 on order. Obviously, when we have 2 people, so I'm going to have to double up on the stand for the microphone and probably a few more. Whatever these are called, VCR cables, XLR, that's it. But all of this, obviously probably another set of headphones, but I bought 2. You know, Kelly may not make a regular appearance on as much as I will, obviously, but I bought only 1 set of headphones for now and stuff like that, just to test it. So again, as I said, as soon as I heard that first, well, 2 reasons. Michael Jackson has recorded his music on this microphone, and Joe Rogan uses it on his podcast, and obviously you've seen who he is if you know that realm of YouTube. He's a #1 in his industry for that. So I thought, hell, why not? So it costs us a lot of money. I think this microphone alone is £550. So as you can imagine, for a microphone, you can go into PC World and get one for 29 quid. So, you know, to be paying that sort of money for a microphone piece. But a wise man once told me that in terms of kind of this stuff is buy something that you'll never have to buy again. So again, same thing with my pressure washers and stuff. I buy the most expensive thing and I'll never have to buy it again. So that money's actually, I'm saving money by spending more money. I could have bought probably in my lifetime 5 £100 microphones. I would have sounded like garbage. People would have not listened to me, and then I would have, as I said, spent 5 microphones at £100. This is £550, and yeah, just do it once, do it right. So I'm super excited with this. Well, it says here, legendary vocal microphone, shielded selective frequency, all that malarkey. But it comes with obviously a couple of cones on the end. You can have like a long straight one or a big round one, so we'll probably keep it with the long straight one, but this is super customizable because the arm, you can attach it to boom poles. If you start attaching boom poles, and you can start moving them all over the joint. Obviously we're going to be fixed. I think the background may be our kind of podcasting background. I'm not sure yet, but obviously next year we're going to get a lot less distractions within the HQ. Even thinking if we're moving HQ into something even bigger, who knows, but that's going to be obviously talked about in detail on the podcast, because obviously we're expanding our reach into Europe, and obviously we've had a few links into America now already, but again, they're slow burners and it takes time for these big contracts to kind of land. But as I said, it'll all be explained on the podcast. But I wanted to do this video again, not to kind of say, oh, look what I've bought. It's literally just to unpack. This is clearly the first time I've unpacked all this. Now, the funny bit is, I don't know if I should film this. Let me know in the comments, please. So anyone who watches this video, please let me know in the comments whether I should film setting it up. Because if you want to see microphones getting chucked into the wall, just comment down below, because this is going to be stressful. Me and Kelly may have to have a divorce after this. But again, we've tried to the best money can afford and buy. And yeah, so everything so far is the most premium equipment for sound that you can get. Now, I know this microphone's great, but some of the examples I heard on this SM7B is just unreal, like seriously unreal. I've been Googling Michael Jackson. I'm not a Michael Jackson fan, but yeah, I've been Googling his studio stuff, and yeah, it sounds really cool, really. So if you are a Michael Jackson fan and you've listened to his CDs, whatever, DVDs in the past of his records, this is what it's been filmed with. But yeah, I'm super excited. Again, the podcast is coming finally, I think it's going to really take first the channel, the company, and obviously your interaction with us to a whole different level, because again, I'm going to talk, rant potentially about certain things. I wish the podcast was up now, because I could have made an absolute beautiful video of what's happened in the last week, which obviously isn't good from the industry. But again, I may remember this rant for the first podcast of what's happened. So anyway, guys, hope you're all having a great Christmas break. Hope you've enjoyed this video as always. Share it everywhere, you know, tell your friends about the channel. We have hit the 1K mark, but we need to hit the 10, the 50, the 100K mark. And yeah, if you like deep inside stuff like we're talking about here, and obviously future stuff, obviously tell your friends. And anyway, I'm going to sign off, and I will see you guys on the flip side of 2021. Hopefully more events are coming to the HQ. That's if we don't move it. But if we do move it, we'll have even bigger events. That's what I'm going to say is, I'll catch you on the flip side. Don't eat too much, don't drink too much. Love your family, and I'm signing off, guys. Have a good new year, and I'll see you in 2021.